Okay, Tuff Crew fans have had it kind of hard when it comes to their unreleased tracks actually getting released more in recent years. For years and years, stuff's been rumored and mentioned, and different members have said it's coming. Finally, in 2008, you had DJ 2 Tuffs doing the 5th Tuff Crew album, which was the Archives, which was some new stuff and some old stuff. And at first it was going to be a nice double LP through Traffic, and then Traffic decided to scratch the LP. And then at the last minute, some of the really cool older joints got removed from the track listing, so some dope stuff by like Mike Mechanism and stuff like that got pulled. And so the album's still dope, and you definitely want to get that album, but it's also not the album that maybe... it's not the album that we had sort of seen coming. It was a compromise, a dope but compromised album. And then there's that whole thing about the Back to Rec Shop mix, which was, possibly not done by 2 Tuff himself. In fact, we kind of know it wasn't done by 2 Tuff himself. It's still a good mix, just, sort of presented as done by him, and it really wasn't. And so, I don't know, all these tracks sort of get mentioned. You hear, oh, Ice Dog's got an unreleased album, and then it doesn't come out, and there have been tracks on people's MySpaces, and you're like, oh wow, this is hot, and then it doesn't come out. So it's been a little tough. So Tuff Crew fans, they're a little jaded. So Solid Ground Records is coming out now to a bit of a tough audience. But they're doing what we really want them to do. They're releasing unreleased vintage Tuff Crew songs on quality vinyl, not mixed, no bullshit, all blended together in a mixtape. Each song's done properly. And they've released the first release, the Tuff Crew Band EP called Remember, and an awesome picture cover. Check that out. I don't know if you can see it, but it's signed by both TL and Ice Dog. And it also comes with a nice glossy shot here, and then again that's autographed as well. Collector's edition again, because like all the other Solid Ground releases, it's limited. This is limited to 300 copies. Okay, so now they're coming to a hard-to-please audience. But to be fair to that audience, I don't know if they're really bringing, the strongest. When you think unreleased Tuff Crew tracks, these are probably not what you think of. First of all, there's nothing from the 80s. This is 90s stuff. Second of all, DJ 2 Tuff is not involved. LA Kid. This is really basically solo stuff by 2 of the members, Ice Dog and TL. And even then, it's not necessarily their strongest material. For example, the Ice Dog songs, which are the songs that open up this EP, really, they have a bit of a lo-fi feel to them. They sound almost more like freestyles. They're not freestyles. I mean, the first song, he does this whole storytelling narrative, and there's sound effects set to the whole thing and all that. So obviously, he's not just throwing off his dome or something. I mean, it is a proper recorded song. I don't mean to throw that out there. But it does have this more kind of, like I said, lo-fi recorded sound to it. It sounds almost more like he's just kind of freestyling over a recorded track, like at a radio station kind of freestyle, and it's not of the quality musically or whatever of like the Ice Dog tracks that we remember from this 12-inch, for example. So these tracks are actually a little bit older than that Ice Dog 12-inch. They're from 91 and 92. That was from 93. And yeah, like I said, they're still fun. They got that lo-fi thing. They're not whack or anything. The first song especially I think is kind of cool. It's over a Nucleus track. It ends with some nice scratching at the end. It's not DJ 2 Tuff, but whoever it is doing some nice work. He comes in at the end for some scratching. You don't hear that in samples, but you'll hear that when you hear the EP. It's the ICE, the second song, to me is certainly the weakest of the lot. When they say sometimes some unreleased tracks should stay unreleased. I mean, I don't know. Personally, I'd love to see it all get released. It's all vintage Tuff Crew. It's still better than 95% of the music that's coming out today, so I'm glad for all of it to come out. But it's certainly the weakest of the link, and if something had to go unreleased, this is the one I would think could sit on the shelf. And I understand why it frustrates fans more, because we know about all the hot stuff. We know about the tracks with like Mike Mechanism. We know about the 80s stuff that DJ 2 Tuff almost put out and then didn't. So you're like, when you hear unreleased Tuff Crew songs, and you're thinking, oh wow, we're gonna get these songs, and then you get this, and you're like, I'm disappointed. But we'll come back to that. The third track I'm a lot happier with. This one is by both Ice Dog and Tone Love together. It's from 1993, and really all they're doing is taking the Back to Rec Shop instrumental, where they use the Rocky theme. I actually blogged about this one before, so you know that song. If you follow my blog, and if you don't, you suck. But no, it's one of their classics. It's the instrumental that opens up their second album, or really their third album, I suppose, Going the Distance, which uses the Rocky theme, and it's this great instrumental. But it's just an instrumental, and always growing up, I was always frustrated that there was no vocals on it, and it's as if the Tuff Crew just heard me as a teenager in New Jersey opining the fact that there's no vocals on this. They need to make it a vocal track, and they did in 1993. Ice Dog and KL rhyme over that track, and they do change it up a little bit. There's some extra little samples in there, and they change it up. They don't literally just rhyme over that instrumental, but it's that instrumental, it's that track, it's those samples, and they turn it into a vocal track, so that's pretty dope. It's not necessarily the best vocal work. I've heard better raps from Ice Dog, but it's not whack either. It's good stuff, and the fact that they're turned Going the Distance into a vocal track is, at least for me, is awesome as hell. And I think for any real Tuff Crew nerds, I mean, that's something we've been waiting for a long time. So that's pretty awesome right there. Then when you flip it over to the B-side, you get two tracks from the mid-90s, 95 and 97. Both of these are by TL. And unlike maybe on the A-side with sort of that lo-fi sound, these have a much more mastered studio full song sound to them. They're both produced by Mac G, who did the Danger Zone Mob Squad production. So that's where you know him from. So those are classics, and so he worked here. Again, these aren't necessarily the best Tuff Crew songs of all time, but certainly Funky Hip Town is a pretty dope remake of My Part of Town. You might say, do we really need a remake of that song? Probably not, but it's still fresh, it's still a great track, and they also provide the instrumental for that one on here, because it's the best instrumental by far, so glad to get that instrumental as well. And then the other song is Reacquainted, and that's pretty good too. So to me, I mean, if you're a hardcore Tuff Crew fan, this is a must-have release. It's the Tuff Crew, it's some dope vintage stuff. It's definitely not their top shelf best stuff, but it's still a Tuff Crew. It's still better than Still Dangerous, if you ask me. At least parts of it, the highlights are certainly much better. Again, yeah, no, it's not their best stuff. It's not the top shelf Tuff Crew songs that you're dying to hear, so I can understand why you'd be sort of put off by it. But in the end, hopefully we're going to get all of it. And I say that because Solid Ground has already announced their next release is going to be the Danger Zone Mob Squad, which is fantastic. That's the stuff with DJ 2 Tuff and TL that they did in the 90s, and that's great. That's, you know, sort of, there's only test press vinyls and promotional cassette singles of that floating around, so now they're finally giving that a proper release. There's also two completely unreleased Danger Zone Mob Squad songs that were recorded for a full album that never got finished. So hopefully they'll include those. So hopefully it'll be that single and those unreleased songs. I don't know. Nobody knows yet. But whatever it is, anything from the Danger Zone Mob Squad is highly sought after. So that's a really exciting release. So this is maybe not the most exciting opener they could have hit us with, but it's some good stuff, and more importantly, hopefully it's just the beginning of more Tuff Crew to come. So we can get maybe that whole Lost Archives on vinyl, we can get those other Mike Mechanism songs, we can get those other vintage Tuff Crew 80s stuff, we can get maybe some Von Love, all that stuff. You know, who knows what Solid Ground has lined up. We do know they've got the Danger Zone Mob Squad and some other classic Philly stuff that's not Tuff Crew related, but just as dope. So, you know, I understand some people's disappointment, but it's still, I don't know, if you're a Tuff Crew fan, I think you have to have this. I mean, I made a vocal track out of Going the Distance, man. You gotta have that. So, till next time, we're Nirvana Monrod. Peace out.
Bustin' in the wrong place, in a long ways from home. Danger zone, 5 car deep in zone. Speeding up the highway 9 to 5, doing 9 to 5. Yep, hitting up north. Got my eyes on the rear view. Shot breathing through. Got the dog on the run, only a 5-mile gun. Yeah, you fucking right, son. Put the pedal to the metal, heading for the ghetto so we can get this shit settled. Turning off my exit, Gerald Avenue, and they ain't got no clue what the fuck they getting into. Now a whole new game to play to. Sharpen and get to. It's the overlord running up in you. But back to my story, yo. A fantastic voice like Coolio. I'm blazing up Fifth Street, running all lights and stop signs. They doing likewise. Cannon on my ass, yo. Shotgun blast blew out my back window.
Check it out, 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 hear me out. Yo, it's the ICE, talking about the DOG, coming from North Philly, North Side, for the big money. Yo, it's the ICE, talking about the DOG, coming from North Philly, North Side, for the big money. Yo, up in the north side where we hang out, where we bang out. out, gunshots rang out on the norm. Storm in the militant form. Brought up in the danger zone, kid word is born. Made a party like Marty, get my naughty strong like Michael Corleone. Brought my family along. Not looking for no trouble, that you can bring it on. If you want like a blunt, you can smoke till you're gone.
Brothers and sisters, back by the dope demand. Let's give it up for the Tuff Crew band.
Paint this picture, don't get ya. My whole personality's gonna split ya. My whole fans probably gonna get ya. Leave you in Wooded Alley till you stink up. Yup, or me the new Jack Ripper. And get your bitch about the headboard for a sicker. And grip her like the gripper that I am. Watch a zipper down my pants, have a hiccup off my man's 50 spit up. Raising off my nuts like chin-ups. I'm a winner, sometimes sinner. Sometimes I shoot rhymes and spit them. Sometimes I shoot nines and park with them.
Yo, remember that song? Yo, that was my John. We used to get down every time it came on. Old head back, put your main on. Back to the tracks like the same one. Breaking up, falling off, it's not the same, done. So what? Wasting time on who to blame, son. Time to get back in this game, son. Yo, I never lost it. I flow like water from your kitchen faucet. A Brita type spitter, here to get rid of these impurities that polluting disease and otherwise pure river. The MCs that deliver rhymes with ease, pull dimes with ease, and pull nines, so please don't hate, congratulate. Since 88 material tight on air packs like spandex. From Murray Stakes, I'll be right around your way. Kill a Dell mainstay like a doomsday. To the east, I pray, to the east. I pray, Lord, spare me to see another payday. Where we at, y'all? Where we at, y'all? Where we at now? Where we at now? What? Where we at, y'all? Where we at, y'all? Take it back now. Take it back now. Stage wrecker, the microphone sound checker. Time to remix my old school hit record. Come on. Yeah. Sit right there. It's the return of the lyrical, spiritual, physical, original, mental, overall, instrumental, individual, residual, royalties, seem to be avoiding me. Had to get back up in this shit. Hope y'all applaud me, affording me time to carve a rhyme in your mind like I've been doing since the ruin of my crew in '89. Tough, ain't it? Picture perfect team that we painted. Seems it was a mirage. Guess my drink was